I believe money does not need to be hard. Anyone who is trying to convince you that money is hard is trying to make money off of you. So throw that one out the window and let's just have a real conversation.
Money isn't everything, but it's pretty darn close. And while many business owners have a decent grasp on how to make money, managing their money is another thing altogether. That's where today's special guest comes in. Nina Israel is a financial educator, the money whisperer, who has been helping small business owners and entrepreneurs for over 25 years. She offers coaching to help people like us know how to better manage our cash flow, improve efficiency, and increase overall financial wellness. And in a day and age where eggs cost 5 sols and 65 cents, and there's this whole will they, won't they relationship arc playing out between the global economy and a recession, financial wellness seems like a pretty good thing to work towards. So, Nina, thank you for hopping on and having a conversation with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. I'm excited to be here. Let's talk cash.
So, yeah, let's jump right into it. What don't I know that I don't know? I have a pretty good understanding of my finances. I think what's coming in, what's going out, but what else should we be paying attention to? And why is it important for business owners to know these numbers?
So tell me what you do now.
I am a coach and I offer marketing services.
Let me ask it again. Tell me what your financial process looks like now.
What do you mean by financial process?
Okay, that is the biggest question. When you say, tell me what I don't know, this is what I'm trying to fix. Look, I hate accounting. I would have made the worst CPA on the planet. Okay, I used to get in trouble all the time because I spent too much time talking to the clients and teaching them. And that's the part that's missing, is we know we are supposed to read our numbers, know our numbers. The numbers tell a story, but nobody speaks the friggin' language, right? And the language is accounting. So yeah, I hate accounting, but you know what? I like money. And I know to communicate with money, I've got to speak this language. So a financial process means that you have steps that you are following at different times that help you maintain control over your money. Because as soon as you have control over your money, I guarantee you that any sort of anxiety that you feel drops.
Is profit first an example of a financial process?
Profit first is a cash management methodology. It is one piece. It is a very important piece because it is one way to manage your cash, but it is not your full financial process. There is a whole picture. When it comes to financial wellness, we can't just look at one piece. We have to look at everything. So you want to hear what's in it?
I would love to hear. Teach us a few phrases in this mysterious money language.
Here's the thing. We're going to talk English. We are going to talk English. I believe money does not need to be hard. Anyone who is trying to convince you that money is hard is trying to make money off of you. So throw that one out the window and let's just have a real conversation. Okay? First step to your financial process is your goals. Tell me your goals. Tell me where you want to be financially in a year, 6 months, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. We need to know where we're going. It goes back to, I have a lot of driving analogies because I find that, do you drive?
I do drive.
Here we go.
I got 3 kids in a minivan. I do an awful lot of driving. So
all right. So you get into the car. First thing, when you get into the car, you have an idea of where you're going, I'm assuming. So why wouldn't you have that idea with your business? First thing. Second part, cash. And this is where Profit First comes in. Love Profit First. It gives every dollar in your business a job before it even comes through the door. You don't even have to think about it. I love it. That is how you manage your cash. But the second part of cash is you've got to be able to forecast your cash. So that means that today I need to know where my cash is going to be in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, because if there is going to be any sort of shortfall, any sort of problem, I need to deal with it now. Control. I'm calm. I'm not in a panic. I don't wake up one day and see that my bank is overdrawn. I know it now and I make the arrangements now. I'm a boss with my money. So two parts. So once you have your arms around your cash, that's when you start to work on your financial reports. That is understanding that there are 3 key financial reports in your business. And when you're looking at just money going in, money going out, you are only focused on one part. One part. One of the reports, profit and loss. Second report is your balance sheet. This simply just means an assessment. Just an assessment, moment in time, taking a snapshot. How am I doing today? This one, picture you walk into a gym and they do an assessment when you walk in. How much can you lift? How much do you weigh? What's your heart rate? All of that. It's all in that one moment of time. They're not asking you what you weighed last year. They're not asking you for what your cardio was 6 months ago. They're not asking you what you lift last week. It's just one moment in time. That's what a balance sheet is. Just a snapshot of your picture, how healthy it is, one moment in time. And then the third statement is all about cash flow. But you've already gotten control of that the step before. With those 3, that gives you enough insight to how your business is doing. Fourth part. Now we get into the key performance indicators. So if there's somebody's throwing out KPIs, it just stands for key performance indicators. And all that means is these are the levers within your business that you can pull to change what happens in your business. That's how you make decisions on what to do, what next steps to take. And then your 5th step, that's when you get into budgeting and forecasting, because you know where you're going, you know where you're at, you know how it's working, you know what to change. Now let's forecast the future.
And put all of that together, and that's the answer to the question you asked me. That's the financial process.
That is a financial process. So it's basically your goals, your cash, your financial reporting, your key performance indicators, and that's when you get into your budgeting and your forecasting. So a lot of times I'll meet business owners and they're doing this one or that one or this, or they don't look at their reports, but they're checking their bank balance every day. And again, it's the key is to be proactive, not reactive. I just feel bad because this is one area where it's so easy to just, I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. And then something bad happens and all of a sudden that's when you decide to deal with it. And that's not the answer. That's not the answer. You got to manage your money like a boss.
That was actually one of my questions is, what do you see people really struggling with this? And it's that being reactive versus being proactive, which I get, at being... I think I'm okay with finance, but I'm not an expert. And so there's that whole idea of like, well, why bother with it? How much does it actually affect me? Like, am I doing enough? Can I do enough to get by? I'm just going to keep my head down and focus on my work and just make money. But there's all of this other stuff that I'm missing out on.
If you don't know your numbers, I can probably guarantee that one of 3 things is happening. Number 1, you will always feel just a little bit of financial anxiety. Just that little bit. Might be a lot, but it might be a little bit. But you'll always have you'll have some of it. Number 2, you will never be as successful as you could have been. So keep your head down. Focus on revenue, because that's the other thing I'll see small business owners do, is they will be so focused on bringing the cash in that they don't realize that they could potentially be keeping more. Number 3, if you don't know your numbers, someone could be stealing from you. And that I have seen a lot of. That kind of stuff affects over 80% of all businesses.
Wow,
80%.
80%.
Yeah. Without focusing on the whole picture, you don't even know how much cash is walking out the door or being left on the table or whatever else that's going on, but it's not going in your pocket.
What you are describing and how you're describing it is helping me understand it's not just issues of compliance, issues of doing something almost similar. Sometimes you view it almost like business insurance. You hire a bookkeeper the same way that you might have some policy to protect you just in case something happens, just to keep you out of trouble. But what is the actual active benefit of it? It definitely is important for that regard. But what sort of money are you leaving on the table? What sort of money are you potentially losing that you don't know about?
Here's my question for you. Would you like to be in business 5 years from now?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right. Well, let me tell you something. Those business owners who are just kind of looking at their numbers, getting them ready for tax time, in 5 years, 1 out of 4 of them will still be in business. The other three, no. If those same business owners looked at those numbers monthly, now 3 out of 4 will be in business. One will be out of business. But the business owners who have developed a way to look at their numbers weekly, and I'm not saying hours and hours each week, and I'm not saying 1,000 numbers every week, but the business owners who have found a way to keep a pulse on their business and look at those numbers weekly, over 95% of those business owners will still be in business 5 years from now.
So you're talking about developing a financial process, and I understand. I'm sold on the benefits of why we need this and why we need to practice it. Is it something that I can wing? Like I said, I
Okay.
felt like I had a pretty good grasp on my finances, but am I going to actually get myself in trouble if I'm trying to do it on my own? Should I shop it out to a professional?
If your time and energy is best spent not doing the actual books, then yes, you should bring in a professional. You should understand the different roles that the people on your financial team play. I'm going to give you a sports analogy. Football. Do you like football?
Super Bowl just
Super Bowl.
crushed my heart a couple days ago at the time we're recording this.
Sorry. Ooh, too soon? Okay, basketball?
No, go with the football.
All right, let's go with the football, okay? So,
I'll just feel
here
the
you go.
pain quietly.
Here you go. Your bookkeeper's role, keeping score. They're going to tell you if you won, if you lost, by how much, and when the points were scored. Okay? Your accountant is going to talk to you about passing yards, receptions, interceptions. They're going to go into more of those details. You need both of them to help move your team forward and score more points, right? But the bottom line is the business owner is the coach. And if you think about it, have you ever seen the coach of a game not look at those numbers? Ultimately, it's your
Got it.
business. So yes, if you feel comfortable taking responsibility to do your own books and you feel you can stay in compliance, absolutely do it. If you love it, do it. But if that is not your strength, bring in the professionals, but make sure you know you are the coach, they work for you, and you need to be able to have conversations with them on a regular basis, because that is another thing that I will see business owners shy away from, that they don't meet with their accountant or their bookkeeper on a regular basis.
So, real talk, a lot of the people that are watching this on this channel are just getting started out. Maybe they're just doing their business as a side gig and they're trying to grow it into their central gig. They're still pretty early on. So, you're talking about hiring a bookkeeper and an accountant. When should you pull the trigger on that move? Is there a certain threshold of income or other signposts that kind of clue you in on, okay, now's the time? And before you get there, how can you be doing the best you can?
Educate yourself. That's the first step. So whether that is hiring a professional for an hour to sit down and say, hey, this, just know enough so that you are in control. The biggest thing I would stress for people just starting out is don't shy away from this topic. This is a very easy area to ignore because you're thinking of the revenue. And I will say revenue is important, absolutely. But just learn as much as you can at this point to know if you educate yourself early on, you will know when you have to bring in that professional.
I really appreciate that, and I'm hearing all throughout this conversation already this posture of empowerment. Like you said earlier, there's a lot of people who kind of want to keep things in a black box, make you reliant on them, and you don't really feel like you have ownership of your own stuff that you own. But I love that analogy. You're the coach. You are ultimately calling the shots, and you're informing, you're empowering. And I just appreciate you for being willing to be an educator and position yourself that way. I think that's super valuable.
Yes, that is my goal. That is my goal because I I have been in a situation where I have seen a lot of fear. I've seen a lot of embarrassment, and it goes back to the shame. I have seen beautiful, awesome, amazing business owners just be so hard on themselves because they don't understand this, and it's not their fault. Finance is not taught in school. That many, like, growing up, we didn't have money classes in school. Like, what's no. So you know what? I'm going to teach now. Teach it now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's learn. If I told you I want to start using a chainsaw, would you just blindly hand it to me and say, go, Nina, have fun? No. You would show me how to properly use it so that I don't damage stuff. You know, I'm sorry. I just get very like, oh, I have seen how it changes lives. Once you have financial control, it changes your life. You are able to breathe just a little bit deeper, a little bit lighter. It's amazing.
I like what you're saying on your website, talking about crushing financial anxiety through learning and laughter. And oftentimes I think accounting, I'm like, what is there to laugh about? How do you work humor into your client work? I'm imagining a lot of bad math puns, but please set me straight.
You know what? I think it's just, my attitude is that, if it's not fun, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. When I'm working with people, it's a party. I don't know. It's just fun.
So I hear that coming out just in our conversation, and we spoke earlier before, and you're just a delight to have a conversation with, and that's so important to bring to the table when you're educating anything. If it's just going to be dry facts, like, that's not what people connect with. We connect with stories. I love the analogies you're using. That connects. If you're just going to give me a string of facts, maybe I'll remember something, but being able to actually apply it and connect that to a real life experience, something I'm already familiar with.
Yes, it's the stories, it's the analogies, it's that, but it's, like I said, there's a lot of driving analogies when I teach, but I'll also use a lot of visuals. So I don't use the numbers to teach the numbers, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I will use frameworks. I will use pictures. If you think about how you learned to read when you were a child, the books had big pictures and very few words. And then as you got older, the pictures got smaller, the amount of words got bigger. Until now, you're probably just reading books that only have words. Why wouldn't you learn to read your numbers in the same way? Big pictures, fewer words or numbers, and then bring them together.
Before we go, can you share a big picture with us? Is there one or two things that you think people should absolutely know and start applying today to just make the most of their business finances?
Focus on wrapping your arms around your cash. So developing that cash management system, such as a profit first system, and sitting down and learning how to forecast your cash flow.
Can you unpack the last one a little bit more?
Simple. And I even have a template because I have templates for everything. So you would sit down with a template and you're going to look at your cash. So it's your bank account, how the cash comes into your business, how the cash leaves your business, the cash. So this is separate from the profit and loss. This is following your bank account. And once you start mapping it, you're going to start seeing patterns. And those patterns are your trends. So you'll see the first week of the month, certain expenses coming out. Well, you know what? You know in 4 to 5 weeks, they're coming out again, they're coming out again, they're coming out again. You'll see how your money's coming in, and you'll be able to organize that. You'll say, oh, it'll tell you if you need to make sure you're making more money 6 weeks from now. So it's laying out a picture. And it's super easy. So anyone who says, well, I'm not a spreadsheet person, no. It is so easy. Look, forecasting in the long run, unless you have a crystal ball, it's guessing. But by mapping out what's happening, you can at least make educated guesses moving forward.
Thank you for getting us started. I'll start this over. I was trying to put together a little car analogy because you like them so much. Thank you for getting us started in the right direction. Where can we continue driving along with you, to borrow your own analogy? Where can people learn more about you and what you do?
You can just head to my website. And it's ninaisrael.com. So NINAISRAEL.com. And there you will see if I have upcoming webinars, they'll be listed there. I have courses on teaching money to small business owners, and just different ways to work together.
Well, Nina, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for unpacking a lot of this stuff that far too often seems out of our grasp. But I know I learned a lot. I hope everybody watching has learned a lot. And check out ninaisrael.com. See what she's up to there. She has courses. She has one-on-one coaching. I'll post a link in the description.
Thank you. And this has been awesome. And if there was a question that didn't get answered, please let us know.